among our favorites here on the show, has a heritage restaurant there in Fort Lauderdale. It's red hot. It's smoking hot. Reno Sorbonne joins us here on the show, our hockey analyst. What is it that has these franchises turning on Gerard Gallant, no matter what level of success he has? Now, no longer coaching, but I mean, it was 3 times he was doing well with the Panthers. They threw him off the team bus in a snow dip in Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
he was doing great with the Vegas Golden Knights, and they sent him out to the bunny ranch there and said, "Hey, take one up the ass, Gerard. You're out of here."
Yeah.
Doing well with the Rangers, and they wouldn't even sell him a knish on the street corner after a couple of years of what looked like pretty successful hockey. Well, what is it about that guy? Do you know anything on Gerard Gallant?
He was another one. You know, it's funny. First off, look, as a Panther fan, that shit that that happened with him, that he got thrown off the plane or bus, that was the worst thing ever. If I were him, I would have waited for the whole front office to be like in the building, and I would have lit it on fire. Because that's bullshit, right?
They had Yager throwing his duffel bag out the window as they left him literally like in a snowdrift somewhere.
Yeah, like an orphan. It was fucking terrible, man. It was absolutely.
They gave him cab fare.
You know I'm the first guy, man. If I got a problem with you, I'll pack your shit for you, and I'll throw it out the bus myself. As I make the whole team just like defecate in it.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Oh, there you go, Lubie, man. That's music to my ears. Hello, friends, and welcome to today's edition of the Defo Show. I'm Jeff DeForest. That's Mike Lubie Lubitz. We're here at 18. We're going to bring you all the exciting action of Tiger Woods' assault to win another green jacket. Right now, Tiger is struggling a little bit, not exactly having the best of luck. A couple of bad bounces here and there. He's 6 over through 3 holes. But we will follow him for every shot. We will not miss a second of Tiger Woods coverage. In fact, we will not acknowledge that anybody else is even in the tournament, as we bring you what we hope is 4 grounds of Tiger Woods glory right here on CBS. All right, Lubie, how are you today, my friend? We got the Masters cranks up today. One of my favorite events all time. It is a little strange. I don't know. Is it okay to like it, Lubie, or should we have turned our back on the Masters by now because of the racism, the sexism, all of the different things?
Maybe we should have.
I mean, it was a dark little secret of the PGA Tour for many years, right? That I remember reading an article, and I think they said the majority of clubs, of courses that they played, country club courses, so were very similar in philosophy, where they still I mean, if you were Lee Elder, man, you had to go and look for the sign that said colored so you could go take a piss. Right? I mean, that was kind of a dirty little secret of the PGA, very elitist, sort of southern Confederate blood type of philosophy and approach. And that was epitomized. No, I mean, if anything, just stamped, indelibly impressed upon your cranium that, hey, this is the way it is, my friends. We won't even let a black guy caddy here. What are you talking about? Not good enough to shine our shoes. And so that was kind of where they were coming from for a long period of time. And I will not forget that Hootie Johnson press conference, Lubie. You think I'm making this up. He literally had a cone-shaped sheet on his head. They look at a linen shop as a clothing store there in Augusta, Georgia. And, he was talking about how, we don't give a fuck about this Martha Burke. She can go yap her brains out there. She's out there signing autographs with John Daly at the local Hooters, which Mike Mayo could appreciate this. And he's been there. Did he say that the Hooters was the equivalent of a 5-star Michelin 5-star restaurant? If you were comparing Augusta National's dining scene to, say, that of Pembroke Pines? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm sure it's up there.
No wonder. And as we were talking about on our morning briefing today here on Caffeine TV and NoFilter.net, another one of our many platforms here, as we try to figure out what the fuck are we doing, Lubie? But I mean, the pimento and cheese sandwich is of no appeal to me. I don't know of any time in my life other than in reading about how popular it is at the Masters and how great it is that the Masters refuses. You talk about tradition, Lubie. They may be charging the membership several $100,000 a year to belong and play a couple of rounds of golf every year at Augusta National. and sit around and smoke cigars and maybe play a little poker in the back room there at Butler Cabin. But they do offer them, and I'm not sure if the price has escalated. Now, was it like $1 for the pimento and cheese sandwich at one time at the concession stands? Oh, and the other one that they have is an egg salad. There's nothing like going out on a 100-degree day and getting an egg salad sandwich around.
Yeah, exactly.
Mustang's a big fan of egg salad. She makes a lot of egg salad, and I don't care for egg salad.
I don't
I've
mind.
had it, but I could live without ever having an egg salad sandwich or even a spoonful of egg salad again ever in my life.
I don't mind it. It's fine. It's
At the beach?
on bread. It's whatever. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I don't need it in the hot sun. Like that's not.
I think I'd rather have a gefilte fish sandwich. What do you think?
No, I wouldn't go that far. But it's not something I want in the middle of like an afternoon in the sun. I don't know. I mean, like at breakfast on a bagel, I guess it's okay, but like I don't need it. And the weather's getting warm. Like, I don't know.
Egg salad. Get out of here with your egg
I
salad.
don't know. That's weird. Yeah, that's
I think Mustang makes it because she knows it's one thing I won't touch that's in the refrigerator.
Exactly.
Did you eat that chicken?
Exactly.
No, it wasn't me. I gave it to Skippy. Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's going pimento and cheese. Though, would you ever consider it? I know we've discussed this with Mike Mayo because he's been to the Masters. He was covering golf there for a while. I mean, what a trip that had to be. It would be nice to be on the grounds there as a white man. No, I mean it would be nice to be on the grounds, wouldn't it? Beautiful looking place. It's one of those deals where you feel like you stepped off the face of the earth, like you used to feel when you walked into Yankee Stadium if you grew up in New York, like I did. And you got to that first game in the springtime there, and this gets into that whole poetry that you can't stomach that I come up with at spring training every year.
I can stomach it. It's just funny. It always makes me laugh.
No, it's ridiculous, Lubie. You have every right to make fun of that.
That was like Field of Dreams.
That is so pathetic. Because I didn't even do it well. That was the thing. Like I don't know. I'm always disappointed in the way I put things. Sometimes it's like, well, what the fuck, Defo? You completely lost your train of thought, whatever, and you didn't really bring that across like you should have. But I didn't do that particularly well. That whole thing. It's hard for me to fake like all of a sudden I'm Ring fucking Lardner or something, right? I'd be better off just babbling my way through the first couple of verses of Casey at the Bat. Then I mean, there's no joy in Mudville. That's what it's all about. And this is Mudville, Miami, Florida. People, if you haven't realized that by now, it's time to wake the fuck up. It really is. You talk about a woke society. This is Mudville. Although it's a hell of a place to live. I really believe that, Libby. I was talking to somebody about the possibility. You always entertain these thoughts as you start to get up there in years, and you see your bank account depleting, and you realize, you know what? I could live across the street, from the beach in Melbourne, and have a boatload of money in the bank and buy a place for cash, whatever. And then you think, and outside of going to the dog track, what the hell am I going to do up there?
That's the problem.
There's nothing to do.
That's my buddy moved to Georgia, and I'm happy for him. And I'm like, look, Atlanta's fine, but like it's.
Are you ready to throw in the towel on your life?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, I'm okay. We have whatever I want. We have 3 or 4 major cities within like 30 to 40 minutes of my house. Like,
it's crazy. It's really insane. And even though it's getting more crowded and more annoying to go places, nonetheless, it's nowhere close to like the degree of difficulty of going somewhere in Los Angeles or New York.
Exactly.
I mean, you still can get to wherever you're going in a reasonable amount of time, even though the roads are ill-equipped to handle the influx of people that have come down here over the last several years. And why wouldn't you, right? I mean, you're freezing your ass off. Shitty weather all over the country. We're down here basking in the sunshine, complaining, oh, well, it's a little windy to play tennis today, right? Yep. Just a beautiful place. Yeah. And on your way, I drove to Delray Beach yesterday on the way home. We talk about this on the Mike Mayo Lunchbox show. I mean, there were a zillion places calling my name saying, hey, why don't you stop here? Why don't you stop there? I ended up stopping nowhere, but nonetheless, you're thinking, wow, how many wild and great choices do you have in terms of food here? And you do have that diversity that they were seeking at Augusta National, right? When they got Condoleezza Rice membership. She really became like a token, right? She was on the committee to decide who goes to the national championship game. What the hell was that?
She was on like the first playoff or the first, was it BCA? Yeah, the playoff when they first were starting to sit in a room and decide who goes where and what goes what. Yes, 100%.
I was thinking she is to diversity and the demonstration that, yeah, we're open to the idea of women and black people. What Art Shell was to the Rooney Rule for all of those years, where they would interview Art Shell at his gravesite, and they would say, "See, we talked to a black guy. I mean, what the fuck do you want, Raj? You want to find us? Go ahead." All right, so what's going to happen here? We were talking about this yesterday. Tony is appalled. Tony Segreto is appalled whenever we suggest that there's some kind of bizarre, subliminal conspiracy, thing going on. And here it is again. I mean, and this was yesterday. They have Tiger Woods now. They're implying, the article implies actually, that there's no shot that Tiger Woods wins the Masters tournament. You get 150 to 1, and you still have time. I think you can bet right up until tee time on a player for the first round. It's kind of like the horses are in the gate, where you're not shut out, even though the tournament may have already started. I don't know what time they have the first guys tee off at the Masters. I mean, when do the scrubs tee off? It's not really that early because the field's not as big as it is in some other golf tournaments. It's probably like what, half the size? And you have a lot of first-time starters in there. And I'm thinking, Lubie, is it Fuzzy Zeller time, where a first-time starter in the Masters goes out there and wins the thing? Tiger Woods won the Masters in his first attempt, did he not? At like 21 years old, wasn't that part of the legend of the great Tiger Woods?
Yeah. I think it wasn't he an amateur, and I think that's when he won it, or he.
No, he didn't win it as an amateur. I mean, that would have been it. You would have declared your professionalism right there on the podium as you got the check.
He had just become.
He might have just turned pro. Yeah,
he was super young.
Yeah, I think. There's a guy in there that's a little younger than Tiger Woods was. He's making his first time start. I think this was the amateur who won a pro tournament earlier this year, and he's still in college. But immediately after, which was I think a few minutes too late, he declared that now I'm a pro. So he's playing in the Masters, I believe, as a professional. And
so it says, because I was going to say, usually by now they have teed off, or they are teeing off. I see the word suspended, and then it's saying 10:30. Maybe they're
Ron says weather delay right now.
Maybe they're having weather issues, and it says 10:30 is when.
So the forecast wasn't particularly, amenable to playing golf, right? Wild thunderstorms and possible tornadoes. No, I don't know if it was that bad. But, Tiger's supposed to tee off about 120. How much money would you waste on Tiger Woods, other than to say that he will not make the cut, which...
Yeah, I'll bet on him to not make the cut. I'm not betting on him, like, to win or challenge.
You actually you get a little bit of a price if you think that he's going to make the cut. People will not suspend their belief that this is going to happen. And even as they put his smiling face on the back page of the New York Post, and I would imagine newspapers around the country and around the world, they do it with this sort of disclaimer, right? He's only played once this year. His body is in constant pain. He can barely walk Augusta's hills, but Tiger Woods still thinks he can win the Masters.
Yeah, that's fine. He's allowed to think it. And I mean, Arnie was playing rounds. I don't know, competitive.
It's like me thinking I could beat Roger Federer if we went out there and hit some balls. And I said, "Hey, Roger, you want to go for a set?"
He's allowed to think it. Again, if he makes it through 2 rounds and gets to play a third, I'll be amazed. I'll give him loads of credit. I just don't. The fact that where he is, not only age, health, but that he's not competing regularly. Like, we know Augusta National is like it's tough. Like, it just is. We know sometimes you'll see scores be low, but it's known to be one of the tougher courses. For however good he was years ago, he struggled the last few years. Yeah, he had 5 years ago, he had the blip where he came out of nowhere and he won the goddamn tournament.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Last 5 years, he struggled. So
that really was. I mean, you have to credit him with this. That was one of the most unbelievable results that you've ever seen in a sporting event. I mean, up there with any of the famous big upsets, Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, any of the Jets beating the Baltimore Colts, Super Bowl III, up there with any of the biggest upsets of all time. Tiger Woods winning that. That was what, 2019? I didn't realize it was only 5 years ago, Lubie.
2019. Yeah.
Seems like it was a century ago, doesn't it?
Oh, no. It feels long, but it's also not yesterday, too. People who are going to talk themselves into betting on him for this tournament, it's still 5 years, and we know a lot has happened in the 5 years. Like,
yes.
I mean,
how many car crashes?
Exactly.
Tiger Woods crashed, had his annual car crash today. This time he drove off a Laguna Hills highway into a ditch several feet below sea level. Okay, very good. Gerg's with us. We do have the trivia challenge coming up, and speaking of guys that would be perfect to analyze what's going on with this golf tournament here, have you taken a look at it, Gergs, from a betting standpoint with your phone app there in the Hard Rock?
I'm kind of thinking it might be a time for McElroy to break through.
All right.
Yeah, I would take a long shot, maybe Victor Hovland, because he can hit the ball well. I don't know if he can putt that well.
is like 40-1, and that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good price.
He would be my long shot. That's it. I think
All
you can get like 12,000 on Freddie Couples, but I don't know that I'd take that shot.
What would you give Freddie Couples more of a chance to win the tournament than Tiger Woods?
No. I think Tiger is, if his health holds up, I think he could maybe even get a top 10 finish.
Top 10 finish. Wow, Gurggles. 9-1 on that. Would you take it right now? Would you book that, Lubie? 9-1, top 10 finish. Gurggles wants to put up 100.
Finish. Wow.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give him 900 if he hits it.
No, I won't be getting involved in any level. Good for
all right.
For being that confident. I don't see that at all.
Call a polyman.
I will tell you this: maybe about 8 years ago, the golf pro here had got a couple of practice tickets and gave it to me and a friend, and I went to the Masters. And wow, you talk about the walk of life you do. You can't appreciate the hills and the topography up there.
I'm glad you said that because, I mean, that clearly would be one of the issues with Tiger Woods. I mean, this guy is one step away from being Casey Martin. How the fuck is he going to be walking around? I mean, that alone, I think. I never really bought this about golfers, and they would always insist. Remember when that Casey Martin thing was being debated, and it was like, should they have the card, make an exception here? The poor guy, the poor schmuck, he's going to lose his leg, and you don't want to let him play, because he needs a cart. And the golfers, the indignant golfers were saying, well, walking's a big part of this. And if you're used to it, it's not, right? It's like the daily walk of life. If you told me a few years ago, hey, Defo here, I'm going to drop you off. It's only 4.5 miles to the house. I would say, what am I, Gerard Gallant? I mean, I'm not walking that. But it becomes a matter of routine. So I would imagine, is it really for Woods, it will be an element that is fatiguing. I don't know. Does it really bother any of these other guys?
Well, it shouldn't. I mean, the golfers now are fitter than they've ever been. Their exercise program is unbelievable. But I mean, it does play a toll. I remember going to Ireland probably about 7 years ago, and we walked just about everywhere. And you felt it. You really did.
Did you have to use the wood sticks in Ireland?
No.
A tradition like no other. Were all the people as ugly as they look when you watch like the British Open?
No, as a matter of fact, they're not. And another misnomer is the food. If you want a good breakfast, the Irish breakfast is as good as you get anywhere in the world.
Oh yeah, nice, man.
Oh, the bacon is about that thick, and everything is really, really good there. The Guinness is cold, the whiskey's real good, and the people are just salt of the earth. I recommend anybody who has not been there to take a trip, even if you're not a golfer.
I dig the fact that both you and Lubie are world travelers. Yeah, I mean, you guys have been everywhere. It's fantastic. All right, so what do you think? I mean, Scotty Scheffler's 4-1. There's every reason to believe that he'll at least be in top contention in this thing, the way he's been playing. He finally shot a round over par. I guess it was even par or something, and that shattered a streak of under par rounds that went back to like 28 rounds or something like that. So he's been great. He's won a couple of tournaments.
He's very robotic, though. I mean, he doesn't seem to have any kind of enthusiasm, but man, can he play the game? Yeah. I mean, he just makes the shots. So it's hard to leave him out of it. John Rahm, of course, the defending champion, people will be following him.
What's he doing, though? I mean, the Live Tour was just at the round. Now you're into golf because you're around golf courses and golfers all the time. You're talking golf. You do the thing with the tournaments. You're at all these tournaments. I mean, did they have a beat the broadcaster for the Live Tour? They tried to liven it up a little bit with music
you got to
and
remember
stuff.
With the Live tournament, it's only 3 rounds as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think it took a lot out of any of these guys here. They just went down there and had fun, and I don't know how good a warm-up.
But they never play. I mean, they have like 14 tournaments. How could they stay sharp?
Well, I think their practice routines are unbelievable. So I think they'll be fine. There's about how many 20 Live players in or something like that. I don't know. I saw them all in a photo. Yeah.
Yeah, and the acrimony's not there anymore, right? I mean, the guys on the PGA who were, I mean, you talk about pulling the rug out from underneath all of your loyalty. This Monahan sells them out to the Live Tour, and yet they don't have the capital that
Yeah,
the Live Tour players have, and I couldn't tell you what any of them are doing in terms of what caliber of play they've been exhibiting lately. Sergio won this tournament. Sergio's 100 years old. He won the Live Tour tournament, didn't he?
yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right, so who's your pick, Gurggles?
Well,
You like Victor Hovland?
Well, I would take Hovland as a long shot, but if I had to play probably one less than 10-1, I think it's a good time for McIlroy to break through.
Okay, yeah. No, McIlroy I think is like 11-1.
Okay.
As the second choice in this thing. Scheffler, I can't believe 4-1 is I think the lowest odds I've ever seen.
I agree. Yeah.
On a guy maybe other than Tiger Woods. Yeah, McIlroy's 11-1. He's a second choice. Rahm's 12-1. Schauffele, who's been playing well, Xander Schauffele is 14-1. I don't know if I would be inclined to take that. Sneaky pick always Matsuyama, playing pretty decent golf. He plays the course well. He's one of these real sharpies when it comes to shot making. He gets on a roll. 18-1. And Brooks Koepka 22-1. Lubie's choice there. Are you picking Koepka, Lubie? Where are you going with this?
I said I was thinking Koepka or Johnson could be guys that come out of nowhere again. Again, for some reason, these guys seem to get up for these moments. And every time you start to forget that they exist, these are the times that they make an appearance. So I wouldn't put money on them. Hovland's actually a great call, but I get a weird feeling with those two guys. Those two guys and either like DeChambeau or Watson, people that you've written off, think are totally done. For some reason, this tournament will make an appearance.
Phil.
Not Phil.
That's my pick. Phil. Phil's going to win it all. All right, we're going to come back and play the challenge here. You can dial us up, 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. Dave Gurggles Gergely, the ultimate master of ceremonies when it comes to this sort of thing. We'll come back and challenge you for a Landlubbers gift certificate. Lubie will be there tonight with, the whole town. There's more buzz about you and the professor doing the trivia challenge at Landlubbers than there is about Marlins baseball, even though they beat the Yankees last night to get their big second win of the season.
I mean, it probably should be if you've watched the Marlins.
Yeah. there was a headline on a crawl. It seemed like, maybe a non-sports fan was writing these headlines. It was a crawl on one of the local news channels. Says, Marlins improved to 2-11.
That's great. Good for them. That's a great line.
That's a classic, isn't it?
That's great. Good for them.
2-11, but they improved to 2-11.
I love it. That's great.
All right, we're coming back with Dave Gurggles Gergely in the Trivia Challenge, 954-417-0070. Back with that in a moment. Now that. The time. It's 8:23. In style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. In style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodzie, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodzie, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante. The Belmont's now a mile and an 8. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici just switched the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
We didn't have a whole lot of luck that day with Luca Panici, even though he had just switched the stick. He could have dropped it at the gate, and it wouldn't have made that much difference. I think he finished well up the track on whatever horse he had. But the distinction of knowing somebody who was riding in the Belmont Stakes, it was great. Have you amended any of your opinions about the Kentucky Derby after all of those prep races, Gurggles, that took place
Well,
last weekend?
Sarah Leone looked awfully good in the win. Fierceness, unfortunately, cost me a pick 5, which was paying $1,800 because I didn't use him, so I won't use him in the Derby. But I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what the prices are. Conquest Warrior may deserve another chance, so if he's even going to run. So we'll wait and see. We got some time.
All right. Yeah, I don't really have that much of a feel for it. I mean, I thought, unless that was an illusion, Fierceness looked the best of them all so far, as shown last year when horse won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And after that first race, you thought, all right, well, maybe suspect, the transformation to 3 sometimes doesn't equate out even for the horses that look brilliant at 2. And you always have these up-and-comers, swinging into the picture. But that was amazing. I mean, that horse was under a stranglehold there from Johnny V and ran a 110 buyer. So, and he looked the part. When you saw him in the paddock, you thought, uh-oh. Yeah. It's kind of like when the Max Baer character came out of the corner in Cinderella Man, and he finally stopped fooling around. He was ready to knock his head in, and he had that look on his face. I think the horse displayed that same kind of persona, and then did it. I mean, 110 buyer, pretty impressive for under wraps. All right, you ready? We're going to take the wraps off here in honor of the Polyman and get the game started here. You can dial us up if you want to play, 954-417-0070. Lubie's going to be grabbing your telephone calls. And we're going to start out the game in the traditional fashion with Dave Gurggles Gergely and paying homage to the Polyman and some.
Easy baseball. This Hall of Fame Kansas City Royal, describing one of his teammates, Jamie Quirk, said, "Wow, he looks like a greyhound, but he runs like a bus." Who's it? George Brett, George Goebel, George Burns, or George of the Jungle?
That is a Renophone scrambler. Wow. I mean, you players out there better wake up because getting right in at the top of the show. Lenny, the fabled Chronic.
Hey.
Chronic, how are you?
Good morning, fellas.
Morning, Lenny.
I'm good. Happy holiday. Happy Thursday. Gurggles, we need you tonight. You got to cool us off. We won last week.
Uh-oh. I didn't know that. I would have.
You're bringing in food from Cambodia?
My fault.
Ass last week. It was fucking annoying.
Bring in the cooler. All right. You have 1 point, Lenny. You're in the game.
Hoops, Lenny. True or false? Not surprisingly, one of Caitlin Clark's new endorsement deals comes from AT&T Long Distance. True or false?
I'd say false.
Yeah, it's false.
That's false. Good job. No, it sounded good. She's in like every commercial now.
She's in a ton of commercials.
Yeah. I mean, she's aced out Brady, I think. I thought I saw her slobbering down a Subway sandwich.
Subway, she'll be in Subway
using the Mayo Big Bite. Yeah.
I heard her doing a Mr. Mosquito mist.
one little spritz. They're all gone. Every one of them fucking dead. We sold a few of those, I think. I mean, that shows you the loyalty of and the lack of suspension of belief of our audience there.
That stupid ass thing.
No, it was real. I mean, look,
a real thing. People bought it.
Polyman wouldn't endorse something that was of any kind of fugazi nature. What are you kidding me? The meatloaf really was the best in the world at that place. What was that? You went there. What was that restaurant he was advertising?
Bogarts.
All American. Oh, Bogarts. Yeah.
Yep. All American Grill or something.
They're All American Burger. Yeah.
Sheridan and Hiatus. Nice place. All
right. 3-point question coming up here, Lenny. You have a deuce.
All right, Lenny. The Masters upon us. Golf. In Arnold Palmer's 50th and final appearance in playing in the Masters.
86.
Who won it?
Oh,
Who
okay.
won it?
Yeah.
Tiger Woods, Ernie Els, Phil Mickelson, or Jose Maria Olazabal?
Ooh.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure.
They
When
get
Arnold
old.
Palmer played his 50th and final Masters, who won it that year? Tiger Woods, Ernie Els, Phil Mickelson, or Jose Maria Olazabal?
Let's go with Ernie Els.
Nope.
I'm going to say Olazabal because you wouldn't have put him on there unless. Oh yeah.
Nope. It was 2004, and it was Phil Mickelson's first.
Phil. Oh. All right, you whiffed on that one, Lenny, but you're still very much in the hunt. Going for 7 points.
All right, baseball, Lenny. Not counting his 7 no-hitters, how many times did Nolan Ryan give up 3 hits or less in a career start?
Oh,
not got to be a big number.
Not counting his no-hitters.
Not counting. All right.
42, 52, 62, or 72?
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to go with 62.
62 is correct. Nice job.
12 one-hitters.
Yeah, he had a lot of one-hitters.
You're back in the finals. Hang around.
32 three-hitters. Well done,
All right.
Lenny.
Lenny with his 7 spot here to start things off. A nice, nice pace, right? What are we talking about here? 24-1, and they're going a mile and an eighth. All right, so decent pace being set here by Lenny. You can dial us up if you want to play, 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Later on, we're back on the road. You can see a live appearance, Mike Lubie Lubitz, as he hustles in and out of Batch Southern Kitchen. And that's a nice spot, Gurggles. You want to join us for lunch out there, 1 o'clock.
Where's that?
It's just north of Broward Boulevard on Federal Highway, on the west side of Federal Highway, across from another one of our fine sponsors on the Mayo Lunchbox Show, Taco Craft, and real good assortment of stuff. Very nice. I mean,
it's on Federal between Sunrise and Broward, on like Devo said, the west side. It's Fifth Street, so it's before you get to the tunnel. 5th, and there's a parking garage. They do a really good job. It's really good.
Very nice. Yeah, no, a great array of stuff. All right, 954-417-0070. Gurggles, tell us a little bit about Perdomo cigars in the meantime.
Sure. You've got Father's Day coming up. The weather's breaking right here at the golf course. We're busy, and we sell great Perdomo cigars here. We sell the Cabinet Series, and they're wonderful. A nice mild cigar, Churchill and a Robusta. We stock them both here. I just picked up the 10th anniversary ones the other day. I went and got some Lot 23 for myself. This Saturday, I'll be at Jacaranda for St. Bonaventure's tournament. I'll have a nice Perdomo cigar lit up as well. You want one? Easy to get to. 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto, a little bit east of Home Depot on the south side of the street, the big Perdomo cigar sign. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call them in advance if you want, 305-627-6700. You want something on the weekend, and, Perdomo's is close to family business, not a problem. www.perdomocigars.com will tell the retailer near you that sells these great cigars. So this Saturday, when you're watching Victor Hovland come from 3 strokes back on Sunday morning to win by 2, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
That's almost there with the Martin Keimer pick in the U.S. Open many years ago, our last winning ticket that we gave out on the show, which was like 2012, Lubie? I'm not sure. It might have been 15. Yeah, we've been nice cold for 9 years here on the program. All right, 954-417-0070 on the phone lines. We have Lenny with a 7 spot, and we were going to get right back into the game here with Dave Gurggles Gergely.
Hoops. This 6'7" actor, choreographer, and dancer on Broadway, when asked why he never played basketball, said, "Well, I liked the choreography, but I didn't care for the costumes." What's that? Tommy Tune, Pat Boone, Lorna Doone, or Wally Moon?
Tommy Tune. All right. Here's a scrambler. And it lands on another top-notch player here, Ron. Ron, you're on the trivia challenge. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, guys. Let's go with A.
Good morning.
It would be the correct response on that. 1 point, going for 2.
All right, golf, Ron. After Sergio Gonzalez finally broke through and won his first Masters, later that year, he and his wife had their first daughter and named her Azalea after the prominent flower at Augusta. True or false?
Let's go true.
That is true.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Sounded a little too poetic for Sergio, who's, I think,
his wife
angry son of a bitch, no? Sergio Garcia? Always seems to be mad at the universe. Yeah.
His wife was a reporter for the Golf Channel. I think it was her idea.
That's
very good. All right, 2 for 2, Ron. So far, razor sharp players today, going for 5.
All right, Ron, let's give you another tough one. golf. We'll go back to the Masters. Who's the only Masters champion to win a sudden death playoff with a bogey? Nick Faldo, Mike Weir, Adam Scott, or Nick Price?
Oh boy. Go Adam Scott.
Incorrect. I'm going to go with Mike Weir.
Mike Weir defeated Len Matisse, the Canadian.
Nice.
Yeah, Mike Weir. I thought I remembered something weird about that. A bogey, and he gets the job done there. So I got there was a playoff in last week's tournament. They had a tournament in Texas, and the guy's in a sudden death playoff. He's about 100 yards from a par 5, and he just shanks one right into the canal. I mean, like 20 yards short of the green. You never see that in the pros. Unbelievable under those circumstances, too. Talk about choking. All right, 5-point question here. This is tying with Lenny for the lead.
All right, let's take you back in baseball history. When the newly renovated Yankee Stadium reopened in 1976, who threw out the first pitch that day? Was it Whitey Ford, Sal Durante, Tracy Stallard, or Babe Ruth's granddaughter?
Wow.
Oh boy. Let's go D.
D. Babe Ruth's granddaughter.
No, believe it or not, it was the 25th anniversary of Roger Maris's home run year, and Sal Durante, who caught it, came and threw out the first pitch.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, no, that was a great story, where they said, hey, we want the ball back. What do you want for it? And he says, I don't want anything. He let the guy go sell it. Maris, he probably needs the money, and he did. He ended up
sold it to a restaurateur
for $5,000
who then
or
later
something.
donated it back to the Maris family.
Yeah.
Sal Durante also got the Zippo lighter they shared while they both had a cigarette in the clubhouse.
Very nice, man. Unbelievable. That's right, at a Papillon, right? Sharing the no, that was a cigar. All right, 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Let's get right back into the game here. We'll just keep pounding away here with Dave Gurggles Gergely.
All right, hockey. This player, after a tough physical game, said to the reporters, wow, you hate to lose your game and your teeth, too. What was that? Bill Barber, Red Smith, or Red from the track?
How long ago did he check out? I haven't seen that guy in a long time. Yeah. All right, here's a scrambler and lands on Mike. Mike, you're on the trivia challenge. Good morning.
Good morning, A.
A is correct. Very good. 3 for 3 on those first answers, Gurggles.
All right, golf, Mike. Believe it or not, the founder of Augusta and legendary golfer Bobby Jones never broke par in a round during the Masters he played in. True or false?
True.
I want to say false. True. It's true? Wow.
That is true, yep.
Holy shit. Put together a course that he couldn't play.
He may have broke par in other rounds, but not during a Masters competition.
Very good. All right, 2 for 2, going for 5.
Baseball. Which of the following pitchers had back-to-back seasons? First 21 wins, the next year 20 losses. Gaylord Perry, Louis Tiant, Wilbur Wood, or Phil Niekro?
Wow. Good choices.
Gaylord.
Gaylord? I'm going to go Wilbur Wood.
No, El Tiante.
Oh, yeah? Louis Tiant?
Yes. 68, 69. 21 wins and 20 losses.
Unbelievable. All right, Mike going for 7 points. Tying for the lead with Lenny the Chronic.
All right, Mike. Let's give you another golf question with the Masters. Who's the only player to lose the Masters in a playoff twice? Chris DeMarco, Ray Floyd, Greg Norman, or Ben Hogan?
Ray Floyd.
I'm going to say Norman. No?
Ben Hogan, the great Ben Hogan.
Yeah. Wow. All right, Mike's gets shut out down the stretch there. You can dial us up. We'll try and play one or two more. 954-417-0070. Dial us up if you want to play the game. Gurggles, another word about Perdomo Cigars here.
Yeah, it's the time. If you're out golfing or you're out on your boat or you're just in your Florida room or out in the backyard, nothing like a great Perdomo cigar. There I am at the Maldives. You don't have to go across the world and spend 28 hours traveling to get there, but it is quite a nice place. But you can do it right here in South Florida. Easy to find? Sure. 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the south side of the street, just a little east of the Home Depot, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nuvia, the hostess, will direct you into that humidor built by our late great friend, the Matador, the Mad Dog. And by the way, Nick Jr., and now they have a couple other kids. So it's a tradition like no other, as Jim Nance would say. Perdomo Cigars, get there this week. If you can't get there during the week, go online, www.perdomocigars.com. Find a retailer near you. Come out to Miami Lakes Golf Club. We sell them right in the pro shop. Perdomo Cigars.
All right, sounds good. Dave Gurggles Gergely, ladies and gentlemen. What do you want to do here, Libby? You want to take a break? You want to? Sounds like you do. Yeah. Okay. All right. Take a break here and come back and conclude this week's edition of the Trivia Challenge. Might have time to squeeze in a player, might not. So we'll come back with more in a moment. Now that
The time.
it's 8:41.
Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Recently realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us.
You don't make. This comes from the great Defo Llama. It's the bets you don't make, the chances you don't take, that can compromise an otherwise incredible life, my friend.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
As the Marlins improved to 2-11 last night with a win over the Yankees, we still are just in wild anticipation of cashing our under ticket on 79 wins for the season sometime in mid-July. There'll be a mathematical elimination process involved here, and I would imagine even the bookies would be willing to throw in a towel and say, hey, okay, pay that man his money. All right, here we go. We're going to wrap up the game here and work in another player as well, and we defer once again to the master of ceremonies for the Trivia Challenge, the esteemed Dave Gurggles Gergely, for our next set of questions.
Golf. This comedian, when asked about his golf game, responded with, I play in the low 80s. If it's any hotter than that, I won't play. Joe E. Lewis, Al Lewis, Lewis Black, or Anthony Black?
All right, let's roll the scrambler, see what happens here. Oh, this is good. This is very encouraging. It lands on, and once again, calling us from a medical facility after, I think this guy's had more surgeries than Joan Rivers in the last couple of days. The great Andy joins us here in the program. Andy, how are you? How you feeling, kid?
I'm hanging in there, my brother.
Now, are you on your cell phone or the hospital phone?
He's on a cell phone. I called.
No,
him.
I'm
cell phone. Okay.
on the cell phone.
All right. And you're all right?
Comment was distanced. I don't know. My leg is. I can't move my legs. So.
Oh, that's fine. That's good.
All right. It's still there though. That's the good part.
But they said I was distanced, that I could see them all.
I liked your line about this blood clot issue where you said you had every type of clot, including red clots. You also have a point here, and you're in the game, so you're still going strong, kid. You're 1 for 1.
All right, sports. Sports, true or false, Andy? Believe it or not, Dwayne Wade in 2023 made his first hole-in-one at Pebble Beach. True or false?
I think I remember seeing that on the internet that he had a hole. I think I'll go true.
True.
That's right.
Yes, it is true.
Number 7, that short hole, number 7. Yep.
You said that was his first hole-in-one?
Yep.
Does that imply that he's had others since? Wow.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, but well, it had to be his first at that point, no matter what. All right, very good, Andy. 2 for 2, going for 5.
Baseball, Andy. Who was the first pitcher to be used as a DH? Jack Morris, Ralph Terry, Jim Bunning, or Rick Rhoden?
Wow.
That's got to be Rhoden.
Had to be Rhoden. Yeah, absolutely.
Rick Rhoden by Billy Martin. Yep.
Good call there. Okay, 5 points. Rhoden, an outstanding golfer, right? Wasn't Rick Rhoden the guy that was dominating the celebrity tour for
won
years
that
and years?
century, the American Century thing. Yep. Oh.
Same personality as Scotty Scheffler, 0.0. All right, Andy, this is great. Very encouraging sign. If the medical report is just glowing after today, then you'll be in really good hands because you have a chance at the sweep.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, they asked me if I wanted pain meds, and I asked them if I could get a doggy bag to bring them to you.
Try the applesauce. It's the best in the city, I understand. Yeah. All right, here we go. 5-point question for the sweep.
All right, NFL, Andy. With what team did the San Francisco 49ers trade on draft day in 1985 to get Jerry Rice? Was it the New England Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, the Cincinnati Bengals, or the Detroit Lions?
The Bills.
Bills. Incorrect.
Right division, wrong team. New England Patriots.
All right, very good. Andy, though, I mean, and they're not taking it down again, are they, for another surgical procedure? Because that would be a first on the show. We've had guys that were being interrogated by police. We've had calls from people who were incarcerated. We've had calls from mental institutions, and this would be the first that we had somebody on the line that was being wheeled into surgery. So hopefully they're laying off you today and giving that whole thing a rest. So we'll have Andy and the Chronic, a classic showdown here, Lubie.
Wow.
Maybe a forebear of what will be going on tonight. Well, I don't know if Andy gets out of there today after back-to-back surgeries. Yeah. I think they gave him every type of surgery except Tommy John. I don't know. We might see him pitching for the Mets in a year or so. So we're setting up the finals here. Gurggles, what do you have going over the weekend? You said mentioned something about Jacaranda.
Jacaranda for St. Bonaventure's Catholic School and Church on Saturday.
And now there's a short par 3 on that course, right? Do they have 2 courses?
No, Jacaranda, I'll be hitting it over the water on number 17, I believe.
Okay, I like
and
that.
Then I'll go in a couple of weeks to Miami Springs, which is just reopened.
Yeah.
And do one there for I forget what tournament that is. I got a bunch of them coming up. We have a big junior event here next weekend with 110 kids from like 8 to 16 years old, which I don't have to run, but it's fun to see the kids play.
And I know you love it, like when there are like hundreds of kids descending on, and interrupting your piece.
Well, I let them get started with the guy that runs it, Wayne McKinney, and then I go home. That's enough.
All right, Dave Gurggles Gergely, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what percentage of the people actually beat the broadcaster when you're doing that?
Oh, geez, last week I was at Plantation Preserve, and they put me on a hole with which $1 million annuity, so it was like 180 yards. So I ended up at the end of the day, I was hitting range balls, but I'm hitting a driver. So some beat me, some don't. And when they beat me, they go, I beat you. I go, I don't care. I got $20 and I just took 10 out of you. So I'm fine.
That's a good racket, man. I mean, what a concept. Nice job there, Gurggles, cooking that thing up, turning it into more than a cottage industry. In fact, I'm surprised you don't sublet the concept out to various people around the country there. And yeah, be awesome.
I'm happy just being a one-man show.
Yeah. All right. The finals are set here. We have Lenny, the Chronic, and Andy from his hospital bed. And,
Lenny.
Right, so call out your name. Gurggles is going to fire off the question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away. Nobody does that. We offer multiple choice. First person to call out his name gets first choice. We go back and forth till we have a winner for the championship of this week's edition of the Trivia Challenge. Here's Dave Gurggles Gergely.
All right, this week coming up, I think it's a week from today, we have the NFL Draft. The first time the NFL Draft was ever televised was 1980. We want to know who was the first overall pick that day.
All right, 1980. First round pick, first overall. All right, here's multiple choice.
Was that Billy Sims, Tom Cusino, George Rogers, or Anthony Munoz?
Wow.
Andy. I'll go with George Rogers.
George Rogers, incorrect. 3 left for the Chronic.
Was it Billy Sims, Tom Cusino, or Anthony Munoz?
I'll go Billy Sims.
Sims. He's got it.
That's
Wow.
that strategy.
He has-
The Chronic has a strategy. Let the other guy pick, so there's only 3 left.
Lenny, how can you do that? Lenny, how can you do that to me on one of my best bets? What's wrong with you?
Guy's getting a standing 8 count in the hospital. Lenny just goes ahead and aces him out with the usual diabolical strategy of going second. All right, excellent job, Gerg. So we wish you nothing but happiness over the weekend. May all your bets, as Todd Schrupp would say, your photos be winning ones, and we'll see you out there at the track hopefully tomorrow if you get a chance.
And when you get home, look up on Equibase last Sunday, the Turf Pick 3 at Gulfstream. That tropical Turf Pick 3.
You had it?
I think it was race 5, 8, and 9 or something. Look at the results of that.
Wow.
It was a good one.
5 figures? Yeah.
Not 5, but still pretty good.
Oh,
Consider
nice.
it was, 6 to 1, 8 to 5, and 4 to 1. But
Oh, beautiful, man. All right, excellent job. As always, great. Dave Gurggles Gergely, the king of the turf. Unbelievable. If the Polyman was the king of the slop, Dave Gurggles Gergely, very good at handicapping turf races, especially if it involves his man, James Graham. And he cashes a lot of big tickets, so that's great. All right, Lubie, we're going to see you later on. Now, what's going to be your? I mean, when you think about batch there, I don't know. You like a wide variety of things there.
Yes, the food's fantastic. I've already reached out to Kevin, who will be joining us.
Oh, good.
He's going to try and get a brunch item up there. It's a little tough. Because brunch is Saturday and Sunday only. It's not just something standard on the menu, so they have certain ingredients that they use for that they don't use for everything else.
Yeah.
So he's going to try and get something brunch, but they do a great job with lunch and dinner, so we'll definitely dive into those things. They have great cocktails, and it's weeknights, Wednesday through Friday. They do music, I think, from 6 o'clock on, so live music. It's the weather's still been amazing, so while the weather is
Beautiful.
so nice out, you might as well take advantage of it with some outside adventures.
A little jambalaya, man. That was.
That's great.
That's an item you're not necessarily thinking of there, and yet it was as good as any you'll find in the city. And that's saying a lot since we have guys like Tommy T out there up in Boca now, which I thought about. That was another one of those places I thought about stopping on my way home, thinking I'll pick up some of this Cajun food from Tom Tanazzini.
Oh, yeah, Tom T.
Phil's place is where he's at, and I was north of there, but I was traveling like between 5 and 6 o'clock, so I'm thinking I'm not stopping anywhere. Let me just get the fuck out of here. All right, and that's what we're going to do here. We'll have a Degenerate Friday for you tomorrow. Are you riveted to this NBA jockeying for position that's going on, Lubie? I'm surprised that you weren't psychotic about the Heat's 19-point loss last night.
I just assume they're going to be in the play-in. I guess they'll get through it, and they'll probably lose in the first round. I mean, the fact that they're doing this a second straight year. Yeah, it worked out last year. I don't see it working out a second straight year. It's just, last night they were never in it. They were at home. I get it. It was back-to-back, and they went to double overtime the night before on the road. So that wasn't setting up well. The Mavs had something to play for. The Mavs are playing pretty good basketball. I still don't believe
they're playing great. I mean, they've been the hottest team in the NBA of late.
Playing good. I don't believe in them at all. I think they'll lose in the first round. But
Kyrie Irving looked razor sharp.
Playing really well. He's having no off-the-court issues. He's sort of in a
very quietly immersed himself into the Dallas Mavericks culture, whatever that may be.
For now. So, I mean, and the Heat didn't raise a gallop. So that I'm sort of just resigned to this season is just sort of the end. I feel like it's the end of an era. Like, I think this offseason is going to be very interesting. There's a lot of questions for this roster and this team that I didn't realize we'd have at this point.
Transformation City. Do you still think that you build a team around Jimmy Butler?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not done with him. I love the guy, and I really would love to see him win a title.
He'd be great on a team that had maybe other players that were better than he is.
I just don't see him being the best guy, and I don't know who's out there that they can get that's a better guy. That's the problem. Is whoever they could go get, Trey Young, whatever, even a Donovan Mitchell. To me, they're not better than Butler, so that's sort of an issue. Is you're just going to meander in this level, and that's sort of why I'm not. Look, these last 4 years were actually something I didn't think we'd have. The Heat were literally in like the worst position they didn't have any stars that anyone wanted. They were overcapped. They had no picks, and they pulled these 4 years out of their ass. So when people are bitching and moaning, I'm like, well, Jimmy Butler was thought of as like a third dude on a team.
Yeah.
He really carried a team to 2 finals appearances and 3 conference finals.
He was marvelous at times.
And all 3 conference finals, they really should have found a way to win and been in the finals. So to me, I'm trying to, it's hard for me to enjoy them sucking, but I can't I'm just not bitching. What is there to say? I mean, it feels like they're out of gas. This is really what
and one thing that everybody would say about the organization, not everybody, because Pat Riley still has his detractors among Knicks fans here, and I think that he's an ass. But no, I mean he's all Elliot Ness, man. He's untouchable on the show here. I think he's brilliant. And like you said, I mean, look, you can't win it every year, and you're not always going to have the formula that you want. It's a very difficult thing to come up with in team sports. And when you do get a hold of something that you can sustain, you definitely have to go with it. But like you said, I mean, he manufactured some pretty decent results with teams that you couldn't really necessarily get that excited about on the surface, including this year's team.
Yep.
Where you thought, well, geez, what are they going to be after everybody was all psychotic about getting Damian Lillard?
Yep.
Which doesn't look like it was going to necessarily be a panacea of success for the Milwaukee Bucks either.
No.
Who went all in on this thing. So, I mean, nobody, it's hard to sell the concept anymore of, wow, we're rebuilding here and in 3 years we're going to be good. I don't know that people are buying that. Yeah.
He'd have shown they will go to the next build, as Scoop always talks about, this build, that build. Yeah. They'll go to the next build on the fly. Bam, even though I don't know what you do with him because
he's been awful lately.
It's literally, no, but it's not lately. It's after the All-Star break every year. Yeah. He falls off a cliff. Maybe he's exhausted, all that. He's 20-6. I don't want to hear exhausted.
Yeah.
He misses plenty of games where he gets enough rest. I don't know if he can be the centerpiece of a build. That was always the idea that he could. I don't know if they have that on their roster, but they've proven time and time again they don't have to, and they can find a way. So I'm not writing them off into the future. It's just this year. It's just annoying because I think the East sucks. Like the Celtics are clearly the best team, and they don't scare me. If you watch the Celtics, it's a bunch of dudes that shouldn't be in the NBA. I mean, Pritchard and Hauser are getting actual minutes on that roster, and they're not good players. They're not even NBA players. I mean, that roster is full of garbage. So to me, it's just annoying. It's sort of a shit. I wish they had the team they had last year this year because I look at the East, and it's like, I think they'd walk right through it. But this team that we're seeing now just isn't there. They don't have it. Like the last 3 games, the Sixers, Pacers, and last night, so what they threw one in the middle that they won. So 3 out of the last 4 were games that had a lot of meaning. And they were in the 2 of the 3. They fucked around versus the Mavs. But they were in the Sixers and the Pacers games to the end, and they just fell apart. And it's like, yeah, the Heat last year would not have done that. It's just, it feels like the end of the big 3 where the clock's ticking and it's time for them to start over again.
And I don't seem to have the players that are clinching games. I mean, Jimmy Butler was that.
Yes.
Mostly in postseason performances, but you just you don't feel as confident that they have closers on that team.
Nope.
And last night, I mean, they were down 22, 23 points throughout a lot of the ball game last night. From about the midway point of the second quarter through the midway point of the third. They started to chop into it as all NBA teams seem to do. Everybody was getting excited there. I think they got within 8, maybe even 7. And then in typical NBA fashion, the other team started to wake up again and started to put the ball game away, and that was it. They ended up losing by 19 points on the home wood.
Yeah, that was bad.
Although, coming off the second, back-to-back, second game of a back-to-back when you went to double OT, like you said, on the road the night before, and that was a tough ball game. That was a long physical contest.
Oh no, that Hawks game was the game it shouldn't have been. That game took way
Hawks scrubs were taking that very seriously for some reason.
Yeah, that game shouldn't have been. I'm not. I guess they'll get through the play-in because the Bulls and the Hawks are sort of messes. So they'll probably get through the play-in. And look, the Celtics don't scare me. I think the Celtics are like, fuck, do we really have to play this team in the first round?
Yeah.
I think they'll give the Celtics all they can handle. I think they'll rough them up, and they will make the rest of the playoffs tougher for the Celtics because they're playing the Heat the first round. I just don't think they just don't seem to have, like, Butler's not the same guy. It's just his want, desire, physical. He's hurt, whatever you want to call it. He just doesn't. But he had 8 shots yesterday. 8 shots.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, that's just fucking a joke. And Bam sucks now. Like, it's not even like Bam went back to the thing where he's not great, but
he's chucking up air balls.
Defense, he does nothing.
Crazy.
And offense, he's just bad. Offense, he actually gets in the way of their offense.
He looks exhausted, too, like from the opening tip. You're right. Well, I mean, and the Celtics couldn't come into the situation any better if they were going to play the Heat as the 8th seed, as the number 1 seed in the East.
That's where you want to be.
They've been able to kind of just ease their way down the stretch here after they clinched everything a while back already.
Yep.
And, they should arrive in perfect shape for this first round matchup. I think that's going to be an avenging situation, much like the Bucks were. Yeah. Where the Heat beat the Bucks, and they came back and stomped them the next year.
2 years ago, 2 years ago after the bubble. Yep.
Yeah. So I would see the Celtics maybe responding like that if the Heat are their opponent in the first round. I don't think the Heat have the firepower that Boston has.
They just don't
at this stage. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow. Degenerate Friday edition. We'll see you later on from Batch Southern Kitchen here on South Florida Live and the Let's Eat South Florida page, the Facebook page, sensational. 150,000 subscribers strong base, where you can find out about all kinds of things, including Batch Southern Kitchen. And they're big fans of the show, the Mike Mayo Lunchbox Show. And Mayo makes his return from the road.
Yes.
Where he was eating at various Waffle Houses and places like that.
I just love he found the nice places in Tallahassee. I was there 5 years, and again, I was a college student, so I wasn't looking for the nice places. But like he brought up a place, I had heard the name. I didn't realize it was nice. Like it's Cool Beans. I thought it was like a coffee shop. And he's showing like these really high level dishes. I'm like, yeah, I definitely didn't eat there in my 5 years.
Yeah. I don't remember anything. And Sonny Hirsch knew every restaurant on the road, and he had been to Tallahassee a zillion times doing Florida State, Miami games. And I was there for several days at a time whenever the baseball team would play Florida State. And I don't remember anything particularly remarkable about restaurants in Tallahassee.
I mean, since I've been there, the last 20 years, they put up a lot. So it probably
this is 30 years ago now. Yeah.
They like from when you were there to when I was there, they did a lot. And then the last 20 years, it's exploded. They've done so much. So I'm sure the dining's fine. I'm just saying I don't think of that when I go to a college town. Again, it's the capital. So you have senators and Congress people coming in and out. So they have there's a downtown.
They have to have some upscale restaurants there.
Slipper was always an automatic, but I think they've stepped up their game a little bit in that regard. But I'm just saying, it's just funny.
So Mayo was there with some prefixed menu at some fancy
Mayo would go
place.
To some nice ass place. I'm like, dude, you're in. Like, go to Guthrie's.
Isn't there some hot dog emporium or something?
For sure. There's every low level place. That's what's funny. Mayo's like, he finds the nice place. And okay.
I wonder if he wrangled a comp, based on the fact that he was now traveling for the show.
And then on the way home, he stopped at Texas Roadhouse and did not mention Ed Garcia, which I think was a fail.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
See the whole time I'm there.
But he probably had the freebie coupons that Ed gave us when we were down there.
Maybe. I don't know.
Those were probably burning a hole in his pocket. What are you talking about?
He should have used it. Yeah, he should have used it.
Oh, no. I'm no doubt.
I would.
I would put money on that he used the freebie coupons on the way back.
Yeah, from my trip.
After blowing a lot of capital on the college tour with his daughter. All right. We'll see you 1 o'clock from Batch Southern Kitchen. That's just north of Broward Boulevard, west side of Federal Highway. And across from one of our other fine sponsors there, Taco Craft, but very unique place. And I dig that guy. Kevin is great, the owner of
Kevin's great.
Batch, really good guy. I like his attitude and his approach. You think, hey, if I use that same approach in my own work, we'd be far more successful, Lubie. So we'll see what happens. All right, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:04.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.